31st episode of GuardianCast, guys.
31. 31.
Welcome back after a week off. It feels like it's been...
An eternity.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I was
Yeah.
thinking back, I was like, what? We haven't done GuardianCast in a while, but it was literally only 1 week off because of the raid.
Yeah. Yeah, the raid is dope, though.
Holy crap. Man. I think, I mean, we're going to get in depth on this, but best raiding experience by far that Bungie has ever done.
Yeah, and according to the date and time in which Atheon, which was the longest raid, crushed it by 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Like Atheon is now dead. He's in the past, and we have now Riven, who has taken the top spot for Destiny raids to beat.
And I would say, honestly, it blew Vault of Glass difficulty-wise out of the water, because the only reason Vault of Glass took so long wasn't because of how difficult it was because the entire activity was like an unexpected thing that no one really knew what to do. You know, like after everyone got the rating formula down that was based on Vault of Glass, that's why all the other clears were so quick. Did
they have a bigger raid on year 2? Did they had a big raid like with multiple bosses? Okay, so King's Fall, but that only took like what, 6 hours, right?
I don't know. I'd be making it up if off the top of my head.
If I find out.
Yeah, you can find that out because we have computers here at GuardianCast.
yeah.
Yeah, King's Fall I would say was like probably like more mechanically challenging than VoG, but people did conquer it quicker because they understood raid mechanics in Destiny and you know what to expect with that. Reese is saying King's Fall is about 7 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so 6-7 hours.
VoG was 14 and this was 18 hours.
18 and 49, almost 19 hours actually.
Yeah. So that's pretty incredible. Like I would honestly love to see them continue to push the envelope with this. Maybe not with the raid layers. I don't think the raid layers are going to take as long to clear as this one did, because I don't think the light grind will be as much. But you know, next September, if there's another like bigger expansion, I'd like to see them. You know, it'd be cool in my opinion if like it was so hard nobody ended up clearing it. I know World of Warcraft raids sometimes take like over a week.
Weeks,
multiple weeks.
Like on I was gonna say MMO Champion, but MMO Progress, I think. I believe it is, or it's Raid Progress.
Right.
WoW Progress. Yeah. Right now, Method was the first to clear it at 8 out of 8, and that was done. It came out on the 14th. And the date in which they cleared it was 2 days ago.
So like a week?
Yeah, well,
like a little over 10
No, I'm sorry,
days.
It came out on the 11th. It came out on the 11th. So,
okay, 2 weeks
then. So 8 days.
Oh, isn't today the 25th?
21st.
21st, okay.
Came out on the 11th, so, and 2 days ago was 19th, so they cleared it.
That's interesting.
Took 167 minutes to kill the boss.
That's
a lot of time.
What is the cadence of raid releases for World of Warcraft? Do they release multiple a year, or just one a year, or what?
So this will be released, and then in about 22 weeks is when we'll see the new raid.
22 weeks, wow.
But the raid that we'll see will be probably a smaller raid, and then 22 weeks after that will be a bigger raid.
So probably 2 a year is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's the entire expansion spans across 18 months, and in that 18 months, you're going to get 3 major raids with little raid bosses scattered in there.
Okay.
So, but you're also paying $15 a month for that content as well.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about this in terms of like, so if it took like the most hardcore person, you know, close to 2 weeks to do that, then it would take probably the average person like at least a month or more, you know, to be raid ready in World of Warcraft.
There's only 4 guilds right now that have cleared 8 out of 8 Mythic, and out of there's from 7 to 16, so there's eight. I'd say 8. Oh, there's more than 8.
So would you say that estimate's probably about correct though, like a month or maybe a little bit more for like the average person to be ready to do that raid if they are like a dedicated player?
Oh, they had to you had to be grinding pretty much. You have to be grinding pretty much nonstop. And then it's not even just your own gear. It's beyond mythic plussing to get yourself, higher gear, because you can continue and to progress past the supposed cap by doing mythic pluses to make it difficult for you to try to find something that's good in that slot, or that's useful in that slot rather.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is the idea is you want it to be challenging, but not so prohibitive that there's new content coming out before everyone even has a chance to do this content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean this raid, from looking at it from an outsider's perspective now, because I haven't played World of Warcraft now since Forsaken's come out.
Yeah.
Is a shorter raid clear. Usually they're longer, and if they're longer, they're overtuned on purpose.
Okay.
Blizzard will overtune them, make them literally impossible, and then slowly, after Method and the impossible guilds do that, the guilds that do impossible things clear it, they start to walk it back a little bit.
Interesting. So I guess like what I want to see from Bungie is, like at most I would say if they really wanted to push the envelope, it could take like maybe a week for the first people to clear it. If in the future, if they wanted to push the difficulty envelope, because if they're gonna do 2 raid layers after the raid each year, so like a total of 3 raid experiences per year, you just can't, I guess, really push it much further than that, because if it's taken people 2 months plus to get raid ready, the average person, then like most people just aren't going to do it.
Right. Well, I mean, outspoken on this issue, probably people who disagree with him. I mean, because it seems like there's a lot of people who disagree with him, but Gathalion put on his Twitter that he wanted to see an actual like grind, like the 400 to 600 grind to be every expansion release for Joker's Wild, for Black Armory, and for Penumbra. He wants to see the raid layers and then just take it just to the next level, and take so much more time, like a month long to get to 600.
I don't disagree. I like the idea. The only problem with that is that so like if you do that, then like people looking to jump in December, are they going to have an easier time getting up to, like, so if they expand it to say 800 in December when the next thing comes out, and they make this soft cap 700, are the people jumping in going to have an easier time getting to 700 than they do, getting to 600 right now? Because
the soft cap is 500 for us now, and getting from 500 to 600, you can get that.
Are they going to offer this character boost like multiple times a year is what I'm saying? Because that's going to start to look like a money grab. Because right now people can pay $30, to get up to whatever level. And I think...
I don't know. Like, I think getting to 500 was really, really quick. As soon as you hit 50, so like if that's 700, if it's 800 and we get to 700 really quick, and then we have all the activities that we have to get, because we still have the raid to do.
So, but here's my concern. Like, you spend all this time grinding to 600, and say by November, if you're an average person, you've raided and stuff, now you're just now hitting the cap. That would be great. That's a great grind. But then in December, if they move the soft cap up to 600-700, it's going to make you feel like all of that progress and work was invalidated.
Well, I mean, look at us leaving back our tier, like our year 1 weapons already. I mean, you have a whole
year though. You have a whole year to experience and play with that stuff. I just think if you do it every 3 to 5 months, and people are working super hard to get to the light cap, and then the light cap is immediately invalidated and made easier to get up to, it's going to make it feel like people who are more casual are going to feel like, I'll just wait.
I don't know. Like, I think the raid, with the way that they were talking about the raid, hopefully it's not bad. It's not damage capped, which means that your damage can just go as high as it can go. And it's not true with any raid in year 1, but they did say they were going to take a different approach in year 2. Hopefully that means that we don't see a damage cap on we don't know, because nobody's at 600, and we don't know what's past 600. So if you do more
Somebody
damage,
was close. I checked yesterday. Someone was 599. I don't know if it's changed
let me
today.
Check. Yeah. So Destiny Tracker.
Yep.
Should have that information.
Yep. So it wouldn't surprise me if somebody hit it today.
Soon is 599. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yep. So he's probably struggling to get that last piece.
To 600.
Reese is saying someone hit it today, so maybe the database hasn't updated yet, but
yeah, maybe soon has hit it. So it's probably soon.
Yeah.
It can't be. Well, I don't know. Son of Osiris is 597 or yesterday, and they're all pretty close to it. So
it's just like in that last light level, it becomes so difficult because you're like hoping RNG gives you the one thing you need.
You need the one thing you need, right?
Here's the messed up part about this race to Reese says it was soon. Nice. He should get an article written about him and everything. Like, honestly, that's a big achievement. But I will say, it's a shame this race to the light cap is a little bit invalidated, because I was thinking about it, and unfortunately the most inefficient way that or the most efficient way that you could possibly hit the light cap is to have 3 of the same class and then be deleting your characters to maximize your opportunities.
I'm not sure if he was doing that
for powerful drops, and then by extension you're probably paying $30 to speed up the process of leveling up every time you do it. You know what I mean? So
because you can pay for a 500,
not 500, but I think like 400 or 380 or something. I can't remember, but
once you get to 50, you can put on all your gear that you have.
Exactly. Yeah, so I would have to imagine that, like, I don't know if that's what he was doing. I haven't seen any information on how he was doing it, but that would be a good way to maximize your opportunities at powerful rewards, Looks like we have a Wild Huffy appearing into the mix here. He's working on it. The level boost is to 30. Okay, well that's still like a big advantage,
Yeah, definitely. Hello,
I
Huffy.
wouldn't call it pay to win, though. I mean,
yeah. What would you call it then?
I mean, so I would have a different perspective on that if the year 1 didn't suck. Like, it's literally, it would just be like a terrible thing to make everyone who wanted to play Forsaken have to grind through like the story, like.
You're interpreting out of context. We're talking about the race to 600.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was
race to 600 doing it 3
seamlessly hop in.
Yeah.
Deleting one. He had to take a guess, though, right? He had
to take a guess.
He's like, maybe you guys are talking about what I think you're talking about.
No, yeah, we're talking about soon apparently hit 600 today, and we were just speculating on, like, did he delete characters to achieve,
of course,
and possibly pay for multiple characters,
Yeah, I can't imagine that he paid for too many, though, because, like, he was like 566 like 2 days ago, and it's like you would have gotten that 4 light instantly if you would have just made a new character.
Yeah,
must have found some way to edge it out at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we were talking about the raid experience and, like, how long it took people to clear and things like that. It's super cool. Only 12 people in the world were able to obtain the emblem for finishing it in the first 24 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. I think, would you guys be opposed to the idea if they continue to push the envelope on the grind going forward, on making it before the first reset for that emblem? If it becomes even harder, maybe nobody's able to clear it in the first 24 hours.
So the interesting, like what I think they should do, right? And I mean I'm kind of with Gathalion on this, in that they should make it 800 with 700 be the soft cap, and just a 200 level grind with each expansion. And what if they did, like, what if they made the raid layer 780?
I think you're going to be disappointed if you do that, just because the grind is going to be largely a lot of the same content we've already been doing. I think that we're calling it an expansion, but this annual pass, the update in December, I think is going to be mostly a raid layer and some Crucible maps and stuff. I don't think it's going to like have a new explorable space or anything like that.
Well, I think we're going to have new strikes though, right?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know the specifics, but I'm just saying you're going to be playing the same content to grind that 200 light.
Well, yeah. So there is I don't know who uncovered it, but somebody uncovered how the actual system works, and that the way that it gives you powerful rewards is based on the level of activity that it is. Yeah. So if you have a 540 activity, up to 540, it's going to give you a powerful reward, like 10 levels, 12 levels or whatever. But once you're past that 540 cap, it's going to start to give you a +1 on every single thing that you do. Meaning that it's more beneficial to do the harder things first. But the raid goes all the way up to 580, right? So after 580, though, that's only going to give you a +1.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything
until
is
hard
like
mode. But yeah,
it's all hard mode, exactly.
Yeah.
So hard mode, we know from data mining, is going to be level 600.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Do you guys do you think every encounter is going to be 600, or do you think, and this is my theory, that it'll start at 600 and it'll actually go probably up to 620, and you'll just be under leveled for the final boss, even if you're max?
I would hope that that's what that means.
Yeah.
I think that would be the most fun.
It would be. The only question is, how do they scale the rewards? Do you think there's like a different set of armor with unique perks, and that maybe the weapons have a higher chance of the curated rolls, or there has to be some incentive to take on that kind of difficulty?
Well, the shaders are, the way the shader system works, especially in the raid, is really kind of wonky, because you have to dismantle a weapon that has the shader on it in order to get the shader.
I did it. I had my my exotic roll scout, and I was like, thank God I got the scout exotic rolled, and I took that thing to shreds, and I put it on all my gear. It looked like I'm made out of dragon bones, and I've never been happier in my life.
Yeah, I do want to get that shader. That's super interesting.
There's two of them, right? There's one of them that's blue and one of them that's like whitish.
There's actually three. There's a slot like that's missing in between that and something else. I'm pretty sure that's also
might be the
raid.
Well, I can't imagine it would be from the Prestige raid already, because
so
that's going to have its own shaders.
One thing I'm confused about is it seems like there's absolutely nothing special about the raid armor at all, right? It doesn't have any perks, at least on the normal set.
No perks. Yeah, I don't know if they said that they were going to have perks, or they said that they were going to bring them out afterwards. We haven't had an updated roadmap to tell us, but...
I mean, obviously in year one, we had the raid perks were attached to the mod slot, but it was built into the gear. So I don't know if they're saving that for hard mode, but it sort of seems like a little bit of a regression, because I don't feel incentivized to wear that armor. The Dreaming City armor is better for the raid than that, because of Riven's Curse.
I feel incentivized to grind it because it looks really cool, and then to grind a whole bunch of Transcendent Blessings so I don't take extra damage.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, but that's... is not necessarily raid content. I think that the raid gear should probably provide bonuses in the raid, just out of the box.
Yeah.
So you guys both finished the raid, right?
Yes.
Last night.
Yeah. Last night. I finished it. I don't know. It was earlier this week. I think it was like Wednesday.
None of us got the bomber jacket.
No.
Damn.
No, we didn't. But it's fun. We just had in our raid group, we had everything against us. We had Reese loses power due to a hurricane. So he lost the power till like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then other people just couldn't get on, and it was a mess to try to get people back together. But when we actually got back together to do it, and we had the time to do it, we did it.
So
but
what
we were
you're
also
saying is
higher
Reese
light though.
had to go find a shard of the Traveler to repower his house.
People were telling him to go buy a generator.
Oh my god!
He's like, I don't know, where am I supposed to go to get a generator at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
That's so good.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine having your rig hooked up to a generator and pouring gasoline in it? Wait 1 second, guys, I gotta refuel.
Yeah, I gotta get my modem on this too.
Oh god.
Yeah, I gotta get everything, all of it working.
Yeah, you'd have to run that thing through 6 power conditioners to not fry yourself.
Worth it.
Worth.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to doing the raid. I still haven't finished it yet.
Well, which encounters have you done and not done?
The first 2.
So you've done the first 2.
Yep.
The second one is so fun.
Yeah. When we were doing it the first time, it was we had 2 people who were significantly under light, and so we relegated them to support. We had one support warlock who was also holding the relic, so they would drop a well of light for the DPS phase and use the relic to interrupt. And we were timing it where they would pick it up at the last second to not speed up the clock too much, and then racing, through it. And the other one was a Titan who was playing Sentinel, who would throw up the weapons of light. So even though they were under light, they were still benefiting the team in a huge way. And we had this down to a science, and we're racing to the last room. It still felt like we were crunched for time, absolutely down to the last second, and just barely able to make it. And I'm thinking to myself, man, we must be doing something wrong. We're missing something here, because it shouldn't be this tight with how perfectly we're executing this. And nope, it just turns out that it seriously
the way you can get more time. The way you can get more time in that encounter is actually
the relic, right?
The relic actually has nothing to do with the tempo increases. As soon as the last wave is done, she starts decreasing, increasing the time that her cast time is decreasing, so her tempo increases, and then you have to break that right away for her to stop doing that. If you do it correctly, you'll probably have 1:30 to get the puzzle room done.
You got to have a lot of DPS, basically.
Not that part's not DPS. That part's
but you can interrupt. If you have enough DPS, you can interrupt without having to use the relic at all.
Yeah. You don't have to use the relic at all if you have enough DPS.
Right. So that would have been helpful. But yeah, I'm super excited to try it again. I think I want to get to at least 560 before I jump back in, though.
Yeah, it was interesting to play through it last night, with everybody in the 570s and high 560s. That fight was considerably less stressful. We were nobody was dying.
Did you also feel invincible? Because I felt invincible at 570 something.
Yeah, well,
I was I can't die here.
Yeah, well, our strategies were based around us going in at 549,
Right.
And so when you are line of sighting the bosses and dodging around corners and jumping over thrall and sweating your butt off at appropriate power level, then it's superhero. So Exo, I'm curious. Do you think that they purposely added the Nightfall Emblem thing to that encounter?
I don't know what you're talking about, actually.
Nightfall Emblem.
Okay, so we found out during our attempts that if you complete the 100k Nightfall and then get the emblem with the aura, you are immune to plate damage in Surochi. You will not take damage from standing on the plate.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be a bug. Yeah, it must be a bug.
Well, here's the thing. you don't take... it's an emblem. First of all, that's a weird bug.
Yeah.
For an emblem. But you don't take damage from the plates, and you also cannot shoot the laser. So if you put on the emblem, you're like relegated to being one of the puzzle people in the end.
Interesting. So you don't have to worry about shooting it, but you just kind of have that. It was probably done in testing so that they could test the things, and they just probably never took it out.
Well, I wonder, is any do any other auras work? Do we still have access to any other auras besides the 100K Nightfall?
You would have. I mean, I haven't tried guided games, but you'd have guided games aura.
Yeah.
What about the raid? The raid, does that still have an aura, or was that only prestige? That was only prestige, right?
It's only prestige.
Yeah, we didn't have any others to test, so.
Right. Yeah, and trials is gone, so I don't. Yeah, I guess that's the only one. I bet you, Huffy, that it has to do with like they intended it for the prestige or hard mode raid aura, so that you can Sherpa people through after you've already run it through for the week.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
But the content is already easy enough as it is, isn't it? It's like for a 600 light raider to go through a normal raid is a cakewalk.
True.
Oh, you can go back and do the old raids to get an aura, so that would be interesting to test.
Yeah, I'd like to test that. We had someone in our run just jump on a plate. Mm-hmm. He's like, I can't shoot. Like, change everything. Take something.
Nice. So one of the coolest things about after this first raid clear happened is it changed the world. The Dreaming City got updated. There was a cut scene the first time you go into it, and it adds to the storyline and lore.
I thought that it was taken, like the city, like it looked like all like black and everything like that, even the spire. Mm-hmm. And then I looked back at when the raid wasn't completed for the first time, and everything was pure white, pristine. And then once the heart got out, it's like, the heart's out now. What are we gonna do?
That is such a creative idea. I'm glad that they're doing things like that, and I hope to see more things where player activity affects the world that we spend so much time
change in. Too. I feel like they're gonna add more landing zones as we get in there. I feel like there's a couple landing zones that I want, like one by the what is it, the person you buy with the bows.
I think that the reason they don't have them in there was for exploration. They wanted people to find that stuff on their own. Hopefully what they can do, which would be nice, would be maybe once you've discovered those areas the first time, or maybe tie it to some activity where you can unlock additional fast travel points. But I don't think they wanted to spoil people finding things on their own.
Yeah, but I think that it's going to happen like over a week's time. Like I think a couple weeks from now, we're going to see a fast travel point directly there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what
it's
really
a long run, so yeah.
Yeah, it is a long run. It's so nice to explore though, and I like kind of like the skill gap that exploration is causing right now. Mm-hmm. I would love if a transcendent, if an ascended
challenge.
When you drink a tincture, if you could just get like a portal from the start to take you to that main, the confluence area, so that you could like navigate quicker. I don't know. I also, just like as far as like tincture economy, I think that maybe a slightly higher drop chance while you're already ascended from chests would.
Wait a minute, Huffy. You don't like the fact that I didn't receive a single tincture from all of the gold chests that I opened?
Oh my god!
Week one.
I remember that moment, like sitting here thinking, like
at the end of 24-hour stream.
This fucker.
Yeah, it was like 23 hours in, and we're like, Exo, just get a fucking tincture already.
I opened up every single gold chest there was.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. 50 bows is also expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It is right now because you don't have a lot of them, but I don't know how many I have. I have quite a few though now.
Yeah. I don't know. So I've heard, can you guys confirm or deny? I've heard that the ascended chests are exotic chests and have a chance.
Really?
Can you confirm or deny? Because I'm not sure exactly. I do them every week, and I think they're really fun. But I'm not sure what the point of them is if they're just blue chests. As well as the worm chest. I think the worm chest is just a regular chest, and then also
I haven't figured out how to open up the worm chest yet.
There's just 10 worms in that area, and you just have to go shoot them in the face.
I have 965 barren boughs.
Nice.
I'm thinking it's a time gated thing. I watched Dado's video on the different Senate chests, and at the very beginning of the video, he was like, other than the Triumph, there doesn't seem to be much of a point to them right now. So I'm waiting. I haven't actually done them at all. I'm just waiting to see like if there's a time gated aspect to it, and I'll do them later.
They're kind of random, so yeah. I'm kind of expecting, honestly, that they were putting so much content into Forsaken that like somewhere in map design they put in these chests and then they just forgot to do anything with them.
I don't think so, because like if you remember in the Taken King, they had like all of those chests that you had to hunt down and like do different challenges to open them and stuff, and it seems like a similar concept. I think they'll follow suit. It's probably just time gated, if I had to take a guess.
You think that it'll be opened up when everything goes fully taken next week?
Possibly. I have no idea. I mean,
I don't know how much more taken it could get. I mean, the Hive are already there. I think the story with the Hive and the Taken is kind of just beginning, because we know the evil that Riven was all started and controlled and created by Savathun, which means there's something even more sinister on the horizon. And that's not even the darkness, which we've known about since the end cutscene of Destiny 2.
So do you think you don't think there will be another visual change when the curse is at its strongest next week?
It makes it like there's these weird things that like it's hard to say, because when you use a tincture,
there has to be, man,
things about like the weakest, like when it's at its weakest. There's even triumphs that said that, you know, complete the Ascendant challenges when the Ascendant realm is at its weakest or something like that. I'm not really sure what that means. I completed it. I don't know how I completed it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think
no, there's gonna be visual changes for sure. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, so when the Dreaming City changed, we also got access to a new strike called the Corrupted, which is super cool.
It's so good.
And
I haven't played it.
And a Gambit map.
I have not had a chance to play it.
The Gambit map is awesome too. I've
really never played anything but Scorn on that Gambit map though.
Okay.
Have you ever played anything with Scorn?
I have played Hive on that Gambit map.
I haven't really paid attention.
Cabal on the field in there? I don't think so.
Yeah, that would be kind of weird. But I don't know. I don't know what the RNG is for that, if they have like set enemies on certain maps and stuff. But I enjoyed the Gambit map, and the strike is super cool too. So I'm happy with all those changes. There's still some new stuff coming. You guys have anything more you want to say about the raid, or you want to move on?
I'd like to move on.
Okay. So,
can we talk quickly about one thing that is not the TWAB?
Sure.
I'd like to talk about the hotfix yesterday.
Absolutely.
And how, like, incredibly stoked I am that Bungie is, like, responsibly, like, short time frame, like, patching their content.
Absolutely, yeah.
And fixing these bugs and, like, getting rid of exploits. Like, I think it's kind of shitty that the only way to like efficiently get masterwork cores was to like do the Baron missions and like to do the Baron adventures, and then they were like, hey, by the way, you can only do those once a day. It's like that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, but that's obviously not the way they want you to achieve masterwork cores. I get it. I'm waiting. But
you should be buying 2 to 3 every single day from Spider.
For sure, but doesn't that feel insulting with the masterwork cost? Especially the rank 6 clan banner, which gives you 1 extra masterwork core per week. And it's like, I don't know, it just seems like quite a drought.
it's that, and the masterwork cores are at a huge, like we're at a huge drought right now, as well as the mod components. I feel like mod components are like impossible to get right now.
Yep. That's all by design. I don't think that's a mistake. I think that new players are definitely feeling severely punished, but they want the economy to definitely be different. Before, you were showered in everything, and like the economy really didn't mean anything because you just had access to whatever you wanted. Now, infusion is a very purposeful process that you kind of have to plan for. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I think they should be slow to react to this because with economies, yes, if it started out too punishing, that can be adjusted and they can make it a little bit more forgiving. But if they go too far, then immediately it'll be ruined, you know, and there's no way to fix it.
I don't want there to be less requirement for infusion. I don't want there to be less requirement for masterworking. I just want there to be
more activities.
More activities that like can reward like guaranteed like masterwork items. Just because I feel like maximum you can get like 6 cores a week if you have good RNG. If you're not buying them from Spider.
Yeah.
You know? Well, the most efficient way I think, outside of that though, is to do the old raids. Sure. But I mean, you know, 2, 3
the challenge modes, right?
Well, yeah, doing the challenge is going to give you a chance. Like, I think that's guaranteed, or it should be guaranteed, one masterwork. But it's like I have 200. I had 349 yesterday, and today I have 200, and it's like, I've got a problem.
If you buy them every day from Spider, it's what the first one costs 10, the second one costs 20, the third one costs 40, right?
Yeah.
So that's 70 if you buy 3, 70 shards for 3. So you can do that every day and get like a decent amount of them, as long as you don't need to do a lot of infusing all at once. But just try and remember to do that every day, you know?
Yeah, there's someone out there that might be listening to this podcast right now that his daily cost is 3,000 shards.
Because he's impatient though. Like, it doesn't start at that. Like I told him, I was like, you should have just waited. It resets every day.
Every time.
He was like, oh no, I should. He's like, I couldn't wait. I had to just keep doing it. I'm like,
he doesn't have any right now.
Yeah.
He has 0 again.
0 shards.
Oh my god.
No, zero masterwork cores. Because the cost of the shards, was like 3,000 shards per masterwork core for him.
Yeah, it doubled. I mean, it's just irresponsible to buy that many in a day, honestly.
It's just irresponsible.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But yeah, I hear you on the economy. I want to see more pathways for mod components in activities and masterwork cores. If they don't have a plan for that, then they should definitely be adding ways for us to accomplish that.
Yeah.
In a grind. So next week, on the reset, Tuesday, September 25th, we're getting a new Crucible game mode, Breakthrough. We did see a preview of this a few months ago.
Hold on, though. We didn't talk about what's still this week.
Iron Banner. All. Yeah.
The Iron Banner.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, you were wrong, Recked.
Yep. Yeah, I was definitely wrong. I was saying that the power wouldn't really make much of a difference. It definitely makes more of a difference than it did in Destiny 1. We'll see when we get to the end of the lifespan of the expansion, once everyone's closer to max light, how much of a difference it makes. But right now, with everyone being so all over the place, some people have barely played at all, some people play literally every day and, you know, have a massive advantage. But so like I went in and I've been working on my stream PC, so I haven't played in like a couple days, and I'm like 547, and I was running into red bars every single game. You know, people 570 plus, and it makes a difference. Like, it's not like you're gonna get body shot with a sniper rifle kind of difference, which would be a little more extreme, but especially with something like the Ace of Spades that is already on the border of a 2-shot with the Memento Mori perk anyway.
Try 2-shot without the Memento Mori perk. I had that happen yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually did a 186 to the body with using the new sniper. to this Titan. And
Melees
it's like,
don't seem to be impacted because I was only doing 100 with a melee, or like to a 540, and it was
interesting.
Yeah, but all the gun damage did.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to test that. If they could enable a toggle for light level advantages in private matches so that we could test it, that would be great. So we could understand the delta a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's bounties for Iron Banner. Each of them grants 25 tokens. There's all new gear. It's not just ornaments. It's actual new armor this time to collect.
Yeah, good amount of tokens. A huge amount of tokens because they upped the win to 10 and they upped the loss to 5. It was 5 and 2. Now it's 10 and 5.
Yep. Randomly rolled weapons.
Because you have to grind for rolls.
Yep. Randomly rolled weapons. I have 700 Iron Banner tokens I could turn in and just try and get some weapons. I don't know what I'm looking for yet though, so I'm
that
being careful
sniper,
about it.
dude.
Yeah.
The scope on that sniper is incredible.
What archetype is the sniper?
Aggressive, high impact.
Oh. Then yeah, I'll check it out for sure if I can get
After playing for like only one day actually an Iron Banner, I managed to accrue like 200 tokens like pretty quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you finish like all the bounties? Is that why?
I finished 5 of the 7 bounties on my Warlock, and I haven't started on my. I was only on my Warlock, and I haven't done my Titan or my Hunter. I'm working on my Titan actually right now.
Okay.
Not right now, but
yeah. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
They brought back Pantheon, which is an Iron Banner right now. It's called Convergence, and they did a really nice job on it. I love it.
Yeah.
That sniper lane is a lot of fun with that chattering bone. You sit there and like they're trying to snipe you, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna 3-shot you here.
Is it kinetic or energy?
That's in kinetic.
Can't pair it with Ace of Spades.
It's amazing though. It's amazing. And the Nation of Beasts is a good combination as well.
Yeah, you mean the
I need to get that.
Yeah, dude, listen. What's your role in the Nation? It's my favorite hand cannon legendary in the game. Dude.
My role on the Nation is
why is it so good?
Outlaw and explosive payload.
Yo, that's mine too.
Yeah.
Yo, it shreds, bro.
And my chattering bone has full auto and rampage.
Outlaw and explosive payload, is that the exotic curated role?
No, the exotic curated one has Dragonfly. And,
so it's Fatebringer, pretty much.
Dragonfly, Rampage, and something else.
Okay.
I think Outlaw, Dragonfly, Rampage, and Outlaw. I mean, I want it.
Yeah.
I want that one. I would never dismantle that one. Unless it had a really great shader.
So far, I haven't used that one yet, but so far my favorite energy hand cannon is the Waking Vigil. Is really nice.
Yeah.
But I just don't have enough. The problem is for Iron Banner, I don't have enough materials to be just recklessly infusing all of these weapons that I want to use for Iron Banner.
I think I got 4 or 5 Apex Predators from the raid. Like so many of that stupid rocket launcher. None of them had good rolls. So I just infused them, slowly into like the Whisper and the Sleeper and stuff. But my my Chattering Bone has full auto and Rampage. My Age-Old Bond has triple tap and kill clip. And my Nation of Beasts has Outlaw, so Outlaw and explosive payload. I got pretty good rolls.
Yeah, you did. I got the God Roll Scout, but like Scouts are poo-poo.
I think I got the God Roll Auto, and it's really good in PvE. Really good. It has max range, which is insane.
I think the way that they're doing the God Roll ones is they have 10 like they're masterworked when you get them.
That's how mine came out. So.
You also can't change the perks. There's not an option to change the perks.
Because it's specifically designed to be that way.
Yeah, they're just set.
Yeah, I think that is mine. Yep, it has like 4th times the charm on it. Yeah, so I think I got the
best version of the weapon. Yeah. Which actually is really cool because it's like I don't know if I got a God Roll or not. You know, like how do I know if I get a God Roll? It's like, well, there's a way to know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like it actually feels like an exotic. Yeah. You know, because like you're getting something that's specially curated to be incredibly powerful. Like I want to do the raid 1 billion times and get all of them, including the scout that I dismantled for a shader.
Speaking
well,
of
now
the
you
raid,
have the shader.
speaking of the raid weapons, just to give you guys an idea of like how many wipes it took people. I know that I have toes got the raid hand cannon early on in the raid, and during their 24 hours of attempting it, he got over 5,000 kills with that hand cannon on the tracker, just like wiping over and over and over again. So that's pretty incredible, just in that one run.
Well, I know that when Dado was really close to it in the world's first, it was
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2402. Like
Yeah.
They're not even press F for respects anymore. They just type in 2402.
Oh my gosh.
And he made it to that Ascendant realm several times in the final little bit there, and they couldn't figure out how to not die. And it was like, well, if you had 2 warlocks, just throw healing grenades. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Healing grenades and rifts, and just take your time.
Yeah, we stole that rift strat. The thing is, it feels like you have to hurry. You don't have to rush.
Yeah.
Like it makes it feel like it because your health is ticking down, but all you have to do is like stand in a healing rift for a minute.
I'll say, about that vault challenge, because I had music playing, the Bungie music playing when we did it. Actually, both times.
You can't.
It was so tense. Like my mouse and
Hands
keyboard
shaking.
were like drenched. There was water everywhere.
Oh my god.
Because it got so tense in there. It's like the music really, really amps up on that third phase.
Oh, that's so funny. We do have a question from
What
a
a great
viewer
encounter.
who would like to know when the first GuardianCast exclusive raid is going to be.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to work that out for sure.
Yeah.
I'll be on later this weekend if you guys want to try and make that
Yeah, I'll
happen.
have my Titan leveled by then.
Oh, wow, you're playing different characters.
I'm still keeping one hunter for the extra like 4 or 5 powerful drops a week, but like you only get powerful drops after initial creation from bounties. So like I'm getting them from Iron Banner bounties.
Interesting.
And I can get them from the Patra bounties, but like the Patra like complete to weeklies, like that doesn't. None of the dailies or weeklies.
Do those bounties grant powerful rewards from Iron Banner?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Two of them.
So the bounties do, but like anything that would automatically drop doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on back to this new Crucible mode that's coming out.
Oh yeah. Let's get back to that. Breakthrough.
On Tuesday, Breakthrough is getting released. We did get a Game Informer preview of this back in the summer. It looked pretty cool. Obviously, it's another round-based, like, sort of like defuse the bomb kind of thing.
It's
hack
Overwatch.
the enemies. Yeah, exactly.
It's literally just Overwatch.
Pretty much, yep. What's the name of that game mode in Overwatch called?
Quick play. I don't know. It's the only mode that I play when you press let's do ranked match, and it's the only one there is.
Or something?
Yeah,
Maybe Convoy.
yeah. I don't know.
Defend the payload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overwatch mains, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks pretty cool.
God,
I'm excited to try it. My hope is that I like it more than Countdown, because Countdown sucks.
Well, you're gonna.
That is terrible.
Of course, you're gonna like it more than Countdown.
Yeah.
Because there's actually things you do once you've broken the ground. So it's not like like plant the bomb and stay there for 10 minutes. It's you're staying active 100% of the time.
We've also been wondering, like, obviously they advertised 3 new Crucible maps with Forsaken, and we haven't seen any of them yet. And so it looks like they actually designed these 3 Crucible maps for this game mode, and that's why we hadn't seen them yet. And they're called Equinox, Firebase Echo, and the Citadel.
I know I hate when companies do that, though, where we don't have access to what specifically says it on the back of the box. World of Warcraft did it for years. They were like, "Oh, you're gonna have 3 raids," and it's like, "Where's the 3 raids? I only see 1."
I mean, luckily we have had so much to do that no one's really been complaining about it, but it was in the back of my mind. It was in the back of my mind, like, where the hell are these maps that they
overwhelm the player base?
We're getting them still more for like general Crucible because we know there's a Cabal map we don't have.
Oh, there's more than these 3?
So the second one that you're looking at, Firebase Echo, is
Firebase
confirmed
Echo.
not for Breakthrough. Firebase Echo is the one that they were using during the playtest to play Clash on.
Yeah, it says here's some sneak peeks at whatever player is looking to deploy some breakers might expect next Tuesday. Equinox, Firebase Echo, and Citadel.
Well, then Firebase Echo will also be in the general Crucible rotation because
I think they'll all be in.
I think they'll all be in the rotation, but they were designed for this mode.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we didn't have them yet.
Yeah, so I was a little disappointed when I played Quick Play, and I didn't get Firebase Echo because I was like, I can play that map so much better than every single one of those Bungie employees. Just let me play it and
yeah. Oh, that's right. We saw it in the Crucible reveal. That's where they showed that map.
Yeah.
So,
with the Wish Ender, which you like, I don't know where to get that.
Equinox is another Spire map, similar to Eternity. Hopefully, it's a better map because that map is huge and awful.
Looking at the map that they designed, I'm not expecting it to be better than I'm just looking at that one area. That is like literally unplayable space. Yeah, like what they just showed, I'll never rotate to that side of the map. That is not for shotgun hand cannon. I'll stay away.
Citadel looks similar to like Widow's Court thematically, kind of. I'll be interested to see how that flushes out on a.
Wouldn't it be
scale.
cool or interesting is if they actually took the new stuff, like what if Citadel like was obviously it's done as a Dreaming City map, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if they just used that motif on a Destiny 1 map?
Yeah, the same way they did with Convergence. Yeah,
no, it has to be a new map because they advertised.
It has to be a brand new map.
Yeah, they advertised 3 new maps.
No, I'm not saying this one. I'm just saying it would be an interesting way for them to do. You said Convergence is the same way.
Yeah, because it's on Nessus instead of Venus, so it's technically like a remake and different theme, different color spectrum.
I don't know. It's
like
all
that.
Vex. It kind of looks the same.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
but
the same thing with Shores of Time. It's on Nessus now instead of Venus, so they look.
Yeah, but I guess
different.
it would be a little bit different though, as if they like let's say they took a Cabal themed map and they turned it into a Vex themed map. You know what I mean? Like something that drastic, or they used a Taken map and do they ever have a Taken map?
Well, there were Hive maps.
Yeah.
They take a Hive map and then they do it on the Citadel.
Yeah, they could do that.
Cathedral of Dusk on the Citadel, that would be great. I'd love to have Cathedral of Dusk back.
The idea of a remake, they want to make it like look fresh and new without spoiling the original spirit of it and the nostalgia.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that in Halo 3 though? They changed some things like pretty drastic.
Literally
things.
every Halo. Literally every Halo. They remade the maps.
Like Coagulation was Blood Gulch's remake, and Coagulation there was like
Beaver Creek and so this is a Bungie thing. They always remake maps. I love it. It's always a free edition. It's not something they charge you for. So I'm on board with remaking old.
Well, if you're already paying for the amount of content anyways, like I don't like for someone who is as big of a fan of Destiny as I am, I'm going to buy the content regardless.
Right.
I can't actually discern the difference between what's free and what's not because I paid the content.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Confusing.
I can't. I'm like, well, I get it, so it doesn't matter to me.
Also, PlayStation 4 is getting a new exclusive map, so
woo! And we'll get that year 2 or year 3.
Yeah. 1 year, guys. It's coming up soon.
Can't wait to play Gambler's Ruin in September of next year.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about with the Crucible stuff this week or next week?
No.
Well, Breakthroughs next week, but movie of the week? Yeah. No, nothing for that.
Oh, I got a glittering key.
A what?
What's a glittering key?
So there are 4 like super rare drops in the raid, like key wise, that open a chest that you have to spawn using that matrix before you do the raid. And then when you get to that chest, if you got a key from like Riven the last time you did the raid, you can open this extra chest.
Oh yeah, there's like a puzzle thing, right?
Puzzle chests?
Yeah. So only like one person has like opened it so far and like actually gotten on the internet to talk about it. So I'm guessing they're pretty rare.
Nice.
But He got the ship.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
And it's like a golden age ship. It's
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
awesome. There's just so many
Wow.
cool secrets we're learning about. I hope that this just keeps rolling in and surprising us.
So like next week we're like, oh yeah, by the way,
Yeah.
like remember the old Leviathan? They added crap to that. You should probably go back
Oh,
to
that's not
Leviathan
happening.
and do something.
Don't get
It's
people's
not
hopes
gonna
up
happen,
about
but-
that.
I think that Matrix was really a really cool addition. It just came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
right? People started talking about this Matrix, and I'm
Yep.
like, what are you
Yeah,
talking
I saw screenshots of it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" Like,
Yeah.
you know, the other thing I'm really happy about is that like these chests seem like a thoughtful, intelligent way of like implementing them, and it's not like having to memorize this stupid sewer system underbelly.
Yeah.
That's just a waste of time to run through. So
Well, they're hidden, and they're hidden by platforming a
Right.
lot of it. So yeah, so like the jumping puzzles
I
are
love
there,
that.
but they're there to prevent you from getting the chest or maybe hiding the chest in a special location that
Yeah.
you would only know
Yeah.
if you've done it before.
Do you think we'll find another chest between like Morgoth and the vault?
I think there's a lot more chests in there than we
a
realize. I
lot
think there's
more?
at least 4 or 5 chests total.
yeah, that's probably.
Well, we've only
reasonable.
found 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Officially.
4 to 5 is reasonable for a raid. I mean, if you said like a lot more,
It all-
like 10 plus, I'd be like, yeah. I
Well,
don't
no,
think
like
so.
even if it does 10, it doesn't actually give you powerful rewards out of those chests. So you pick them up and it's like, oh.
I would just be
okay.
surprised to see that many chests, honestly.
Yo, can we talk about something?
What's up?
So Bungie was like, "Yo, we're gonna deactivate these 2 chests, like the people were getting before the raid dropped." What if they deactivated the wrong 2 chests?
Because the one that they were getting was that one underneath the bridge, and it was there.
They
and
only
like,
deactivated that before the raid released. It's reactivated, and there is people. I saw a Reddit post where people were like, "If you don't have a raid group, you can still glitch into the spot and get this chest if you want it now. The rewards are re-enabled." So.
You know, I don't care. You can get all
Honestly,
the
that's
stuff in the
harder.
water.
That is a way more of a pain in the
first boss
ass than
is
just
not
getting.
that-
Yeah.
the first boss is not that big of a deal, guys.
No, seriously, it is way more of a pain in the ass to glitch into that spot and loot the chest. I mean, if that's what you want to do with your time, you deserve the chest. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just feel free to dismantle your character after you've finished with it because like fucking cheater. Never mind. I don't know.
Wow, Exo's got some opinions.
Yeah.
Dang.
So if you have not bought Forsaken and you live under a rock, then there's a Gambit free trial this weekend. You can try out
But
Gambit.
yet still listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm sure there's a lot of you out there.
yeah.
Yeah, Gambit free trial this weekend. Also Double Valor weekend for the Crucible. So if you're looking to get your Redrix Claymore or just some extra powerful rewards for ranking up, then hop into the Crucible, get some rank ups a little bit quicker.
Is it bad that I didn't even buy the quest for the Redrix's broadsword?
I bought
Nope.
it and I'm not going to complete it. I don't know why I bought it because I already have a Redrix Claymore. So
Yeah, but like for
I don't
me,
know.
I'm like, oh, pulse rifle kills. Oh, I have my Shattering Bone, but I didn't actually buy it.
that's funny.
Uh,
I think it's like 200 kills, right?
That's the first step.
It's not bad.
If you
Hot.
want. Yeah.
Could do that in 5 games.
Yeah.
Well, you know, really good games.
Hot update. Zur has the Crimson, the Kepri's Horn, the Stompies, the Verity's Brow, and the challenge card.
I hope Zur doesn't bring any of the new exotics personally. At least not for a really long time.
Yeah, I do as well. I would just honestly I would wash somebody's car for the rest of their life for the double dodge exotic. Like I would do anything.
I got my first exotic engram to drop on the ground yesterday. And I was so excited. Like I looked at it and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Is that an exotic engram on the ground? Is that am I looking at the colors wrong? Is there something reflecting off of it that's
Yeah.
distorting my view? And I went and picked it up and then it was a stupid colony. So rip.
I am looking at that wrong, yes. The raid has 3 weapons in it: the Supremacy, the Teshuan Force, and the 1,000 Voices. That's specific to the raid in season 4. So
Wait, what?
I guess
There's more
those
weapons
are.
than that.
Well, there are more weapons in that, yeah, but those are specific to season 4.
There's gonna be seasonal weapons in this raid.
Well, according to Destiny sets, the way that they're organizing it is a little bit weird, but they said that.
That makes no sense because there's going to be raid layers, so it should be specific to the raid. I don't know why they would update it on a seasonal basis. It's not
Transfiguration.
Is
that what you got? The scout rifle?
I don't know. I didn't get it.
Oh,
Huffy
me?
did, yeah.
Yeah, Huffy.
I can't remember. It's the God rolled one. Yeah.
It says desire becomes reality. Oh, Wishbringer mine.
Oh yeah.
So I saw in this the hotfix.
Yeah.
There was one thing I was a little disappointed about. Like they changed the requirements for the Ace of Spades quest, where like you don't have to kill invaders with the hand cannon.
Yeah, but you have to kill a lot more people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. It took like a couple games. Like, what were people really complaining?
But now you have to kill a ton of people. Like they consolidated the first 2 parts of the quest with you doing the headshots and everything. Now it's just kill everything.
But what was like? It just seems like people
I felt
complained.
it was shorter and easier.
Okay, that's so weird. Though.
What was wrong with it?
Well, people were saying that it was too difficult to get the headshots.
Kills. You didn't
the
have
hand
to be
cannon kills from an invader, so you got to get the hand cannon kills, and then you go back into the Crucible and do the 25 headshots. Yeah. It was that first part that they were having a problem with.
The problem is that it's like only on invaders, not on invasions.
Yeah.
And then you have to get like the final kill like with a hand cannon on these huge maps. And like for someone like yourself, Recked, like that uses a hand cannon all the time, like it's fine, but getting the final blow on someone with a hand cannon on one of those maps is like not. It's very difficult for someone who's not like a PvE person. Not a PvP person.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that adding it to also invasions just gives people like more of a chance. Also, the quest line in the beginning was unclear. The wording was unclear.
It was. Definitely the tooltip was.
When you're Kaizen just said when you're up against the sleeper. So when you're up against the sleeper stimulant,
true.
Hand cannon's just not going to do the trick for you.
Yeah.
You have to team shot and hope you get the last shot. That's basically.
Yeah, that's basically it. And then we had one guy on our team just like not getting the last shot every time. It took us like 7 or 8 games.
Well, I remember doing it, and like the biggest frustration was like we were just like learning about the hand cannon bug, and it was like I gotta freaking double tap escape and then try and like get these stupid hand cannon kills against these invaders that are coming in with sleeper simulant. It was like a big headache, but like after you learned what you needed to do, it wasn't too bad. Another thing is I thought like maybe it was just like people noticing it too much, but the Edge Transit they think actually is a bug that
Really?
they're saying like it's overdropping. They're investigating it, so that's kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Cosmo had made like he said that I'll look into making Edge Transit dropping less, and when he did that, he had the strike through like a cross out strike through thing to increase the drop rate of Edge Transit.
Oh my god. That's so funny. Yeah. But
Thousand Voices. We played against one in Gambit the other day.
Oh, it's so good.
And we had no chance.
Oh.
As soon as the Primeval came up, the Primeval went down. It was really kind of a shocking experience to play against.
Wait, so with Primeval buff 0, like Primeval Slayer 0.
Yeah, with Primeval Slayer 0, they just like melting pointed the guy and then.
Oh my god.
And, like took the motherfucker down.
That's nuts.
But I was like, okay.
It's also really good in PvP too. Like I'm seeing people just drag across the street and get like quad kills and stuff like that. It's crazy. I mean, It's probably gonna get toned down, but I really hope I
Hopefully
get
not.
my hands on one before that happens.
Yeah. That's the only reason I'm making a Titan, because you don't get double raid drops if you run 2 hunters.
Ah, interesting.
Now, have you guys run into this issue with the tincture at all?
What issue?
Which is your...
People were talking about players leaving the activity and joining a new activity where they're basically telling you not to do that.
I haven't really tried, but
because
Say that
the ascendant buff goes away from you when you go do another activity or you go back to orbit or whatever.
yeah.
It doesn't stay on you because it's not a character buff. It's a zone buff for
Right.
your character.
Makes
Not
sense.
a character buff for you for the zone.
Oh, that kind of stinks.
Yeah. So yeah, are they gonna fix that? Is that what they said in here?
No, they basically just said for you to watch out for that and make sure that it's not make sure to not waste your tincture unintentionally. It's recommended that players check that they successfully landed in the desired activity before using the consumable. Now last week though, right? Last week was when we had the week off, but last week's TWAB they were like, these are the Forsaken known issues, and everything that they've done right now are fixed.
Yeah, that's
So
incredible.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So now we have a new set of known issues.
Yeah.
Being, underlevel powerful gear drops, menu load times, cataloger emblem at the postmaster.
Yeah.
Oh, this weapon perks in the well. I noticed that during the raid because if you notice, White Nail doesn't proc consistently when standing in a well. It's pretty annoying, actually. You'll hit 3 headshots and then it'll be like, time to reload. You're like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot of things,
especially for the warlock. If I cast a well, even if I'm standing outside of my well, I do not get White Nail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What if you cast a well on the plate as well in that first encounter? Then like a lot of times it won't count as you having stood on the plate, and so your knight will spawn incredibly late.
Oh my gosh.
So are we looking at next week though? Next week, this whole slew of issues to be fixed, and the new known issues, these are the ones we're working on now. Like Edge Transit potentially being fixed 2 weeks from now, but all the ones that they know about are being fixed now.
That's great. Yeah, I'm happy for the quick
Really good.
updates. I hope also we see, it's early yet and people aren't really playing Crucible that much, but I hope we see quick adjustments to Crucible too. Every time they want to make sandbox changes, hopefully they're not 6 months apart.
It's really. Go ahead.
Did they actually say anything about the Chaos Reach super not deactivating them properly? Like if you decide to hold off and not use it, because that's not mentioned here at all that it was fixed.
I have no idea.
So if what happens is if you use a Chaos Super, which is the Warlock, and you use you have 66% of your thing, and you decide to cancel it, which you can do, and it's supposed to save 50% of your energy, it actually just gets rid of it entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So if you decide to use the Chaos Reach Super, do not cancel it. Still, that's a PSA for this week. They still haven't fixed it. Okay.
Okay.
They haven't fixed it then. So.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
unlocked that one yet, so.
That thing is gonna be so oppressive once.
Dude, does it ever work though when you cancel it?
So it never saves your energy when you cancel it.
Because me and Huffy were playing this game yesterday, and it was like unlimited chaos reaches.
It was the boots, Recked.
Oh.
So imagine those boots with
storing your just one bang
energy.
and then put it away. Oh my god.
And then sprint to the next one bang.
Oh.
Yeah, Chaos Reach, when they actually fix it, it's gonna be nasty.
Please buff hunters.
Yeah.
Listen, I've always been like, oh, Recked, you're silly. Hunters are fine. At this point in the game, it's like the supers on other classes you can now access so often, like due to armor perks and everything, that Hunter is feeling bad.
and the neutral ones too, the one-eyed mask. I mean, we don't have anything comparable to that. That's just insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just like better options on other classes. I think Hunter definitely needs to be retuned, especially you know, like I know you're loving it, but I can't get behind the Spectral Blades, man. Like,
listen, I think Spectral Blades is OP.
OP.
I'm not opposed to anyone saying Spectral Blades is bad.
Yeah.
Give it a buff, because that's just a net buff to me.
Yeah.
I'll take more buff.
I don't even know, like, buff. I'd just like to see it where like the perks like are actually usable for me. I'd like to see those wall hacks every once in a while. You know?
You just have to slide around corners, right?
I do slide around corners. That's the opening shot. That's not the killing blow usually, and I'm like re-standing up by the time they're dead.
Well, you just like crouch back down.
Didn't they say something about extending the Spectral Blade super?
Did they? I didn't see anything about it.
Yeah, they said something about that last week.
They don't need to necessarily extend it. It's just the super. So the super is slow as is, and in order to speed up your movement around the map, you use like one left click, one right click to do the combo and like gain like a boost speed. That uses like a fourth of your bar.
Here's another thing I want to know: how come every other class's roaming supers get to fly around, but the hunter gets one swipe in the air, and then you're falling? You can't do multiple swipes like you could with Arc Strider, with Blade Dancer in Destiny 1 with the Arc Strider or the new Spectral Blades. You're just down on the ground. I hate it. That needs to change, in my opinion.
Well, I'll say that I was playing on my Hunter with the new Fire Super, and I literally, and I think Huffy even said something about it when he saw me do that. Like, I mapped somebody across the map with the Super.
Yep.
Because I just like tilted it up a little bit after I got the guy that I knew, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get him. Oh, I got him.
Yeah. So the Blade Barrage is incredibly reliable, but the neutral perks of the class don't do anything in PvP. Like the throwing knife is just, it doesn't do any damage. So.
If you can land them, it is good for your cooldown.
For your dodge cooldown, you're talking about, right? That's what it regenerates, I think.
Is it only your dodge? Well, either way, like, it's noticeable.
Yeah. But it's like, why would you want to land it when you could just kill them instead by continuing to shoot?
What is it? The Titans, I haven't played with it, but I got killed by it. I didn't gambit. I didn't realize I was dealing with him. There was his crash, his thunder crash. That's just his melee ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh.
It's not a one hit though.
No, but he got me far enough down.
And it does eat it whether they hit somebody with it or not. It'll eat the cooldown.
Yeah, Kaizen saying it kills him dead. The fire super kills him dead, even through the bubble, like through that.
Yeah, that's because it's two ticks of it. The first tick breaks the bubble. The second tick does damage.
Well, that's actually a really interesting thing though, because like before we were talking about how the strongest super in the game was the Sentinel bubble, and it was until everybody got all these new supers, because even the fire titan that slams down into the bubble will destroy the ball.
Really?
Yeah. It's just one slam and it's done.
Interesting.
Including everyone in there, because they're probably dead too. Well, your bubble doesn't save you now.
I don't usually go over these movies of the week, but I will say it's really, really impressive that Giggs and his team already four-manned.
He already three-manned.
It wasn't Giggs and his team, right? It was Giggs and like somebody for like most of. I think it was the world's first team too, right?
Yeah, it was Giggs plus Redeem.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. He posted today that he three-manned Riven.
That's nuts. That's really crazy.
I actually believe, yeah. Well, they three-manned Vault too, which that's crazy to me. That's the one that's insane, because like the way you actually handle the ads and everything like that, you could probably even two-man Last Wish. They're attempting two-man right now.
Wow.
Riven.
That's insane.
That's insane.
You can probably two-man it. But the crazy thing for me is like to be able to do a 3-man vault is really, really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, that encounter, God, can we just, like, one more time talk about how freaking incredible the vault encounter is? It's so well designed. It feels
So
amazing.
many people hated it, though.
Really?
Well, their first experience with it, you know, because
Well,
they
your
didn't I think it was the teams that just got lucky and didn't actually understand the mechanics. But once you actually understand the mechanics, it's probably one of my favorite fights in there. Riven actually is lower than the vault for me as far as like fun.
Yeah.
I have a question. Have either of you played the new Hammer Titan, or no?
A little bit, not much.
Well, like Baga's saying that the tracking on the throwing hammer is like insanely magnetic.
Oh yeah.
And
I've seen Diet use it.
Does that apply to mouse and keyboard?
Yeah.
Okay, so
because
all right, so if that is the case, they need to do that to the hunter throwing knife. I mean, why is that? That's so weird that they would just apply it to that and not do anything to the hunter throwing knife.
Well, because it's a bonk, you got to go pick it back up.
You don't have to go pick it back up, but you get an instant cooldown if you go pick it back up, and your health back.
Get the bonk him again.
If you don't pick it back up, it blows up. I remember the first time I ran over one accidentally in PvP and got just wrecked. I was
Meanwhile,
like, what was that?
The throwing knife is still a meme, and the damage hasn't been adjusted either. 118 to the head. I don't know what's happening.
Play Warlock, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, you're Bam Bam, just throwing hammers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't even have to really line up the reticle. You just kind of because the reticle is kind of like your normal reticle when you're running.
It's like a box, right? It's like a bracket.
If it's anywhere in there, it's gonna hit him.
That's insane. Well, that's all I have. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about.
Well, there's also that solo Cali defeat. You know, the first boss.
There's a solo Cali?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Well, what was actually really cool about this, right, is that we're talking about this. We're like, these incredible feats in the game are obviously happening right now. We're probably going to be able to do them at some point. But the only reason why we can actually even say that they're incredible, like we know that they're difficult to do, or they were when we first did them. It's like that puts the Destiny like rating experience on like a whole nother level for me.
Absolutely.
That kind of stuff is like, we know how difficult it is, and like people are doing it. We're like, wow, that's really impressive.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I feel like thanks to the raid. Well, I'm a PvEer now.
I hear you.
I mean, anytime I take a look at Huffy's stream now, he's not in PvP anymore.
Right. I agree. 100%.
But I mean, not long term.
Right.
Like for the expansion, maybe. I mean, I am now going to consistently interact with PvE content, and I feel like light level matters.
Yeah.
I feel like power matters. I feel like gear matters. I am super excited to have been inspired to engage with the whole game.
Same.
Instead of just a piece of it.
Have you guys noticed? No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm glad that right now in Iron Banner, the people who are highlight and like two-tapping people with Memento Mori rounds are the people that did the raid.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that like people are getting rewarded in PvE for PvP and PvP for PvE. It's just the way the game.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like the Iron Banner, like there is people complaining about that delta, but it's like, what do you want? I mean, go play quick play then. You know, like it is a different game type. It's specifically supposed to revolve around that light level difference. That was the original design intent, and I think it's finally playing out for the first time ever in that way.
Yeah.
So.
Mapping people from the other side of the map, like with 200 sixes to the head with the ace of spades, feels so good.
That's awesome. But yeah, I totally agree with everything you're saying. I think that that without a doubt, Forsaken has changed the PvE game so much, where before it was like you only had a limited amount of time to really engage with that content before it became really repetitive and dull. And the only reason to play it was to help other people who haven't done it, really. And now it feels like there is a reason to always be constantly engaging with PvE on a weekly and even daily basis. And PvP is definitely better. I think it does still need some tweaks, but I have very little critical to say about the PvE experience, you know?
Don't you think that if you're playing 3 characters as I am, don't you still feel overwhelmed on Tuesday when it hits and it's like, oh, by the way, you have everything to do again?
I feel overwhelmed with 1.
Same. Yeah. I after the first week, I had like a whole week off from work and I had time to do that 3 characters. The second week, I had to go back to work and it was a struggle just to get all my stuff done on 1 character. So I think that like I'm gonna do it if I run out of stuff to do on 1 character for now, but it'll basically be once I'm max light on my hunter, then it'll be easier to level up the other 2 characters.
The other thing is you're not really losing a ton of light levels. You are losing some light levels progress each week, but you're not losing so much that you're like, well, I don't feel bad about what I've done for the week. Like you'll always feel good about what you did, what you actually accomplished, regardless of how many characters you finished or not.
And that's a good balance. It should feel rewarding to play 3 characters, but not punishing if you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Cosmo said a couple of weeks ago, maybe we might see it. We might not see it, until December, but people were asking for armor packages and gun packages, weaponsmith packages. So like you'd have a choice between when a powerful reward drops, you would have a choice of what powerful reward you'd want that to be.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
so that might be something that would make it more interesting. And by that point, I imagine
3
it'll already be
or something.
Yeah.
Would it be like, hey, do you want a weapon or do you want armor?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool too if you could like I don't know, this is like an abstract concept, but if you could be like, hey, like I'd really like to specialize in snipers. I'd like to curate sort of my drops to be more likely to get snipers. If you could make those kind of decisions,
Well, there is a thing in World of Warcraft that actually allows you, because the way that the drops work there is you either get something or you don't. It's kind of different in World of Warcraft. Sometimes you won't get anything from any boss, and sometimes you'll get like a reward from every boss. And every single time it'll be something that you might be able to use. Even if you can't use it, you can give it to somebody else.
It's a shared loot pool in World of Warcraft, isn't it? Like
it's the boss drops specific items, but each of those, like if you play a marksman hunter, you have a set pool for you that could drop, and you can share it with other hunters if other hunters want it, or if somebody else wants it. If it's a ring or something, if it's something that might improve another person's stat, you can just give it to them. But the other thing that they've been doing since even before Legion is they actually started in Mists of Pandaria, where you have the ability to choose a specialization for what you want the drops to be. So if you don't want, say, I don't want this loot pool, I don't want the marksman loot pool, I want the beast mastery loot pool, you can change your specialization so that stuff will drop to you, allowing you to build another set for another character. So what if they did that, but they said like, oh, I'm 600 on my hunter, but I'd like to build my set for my Titan.
Yeah.
So I'd like to change my...
That'd be cool.
Huffy, I have a question.
Hit me.
Why is the Iron Banner hunter armor more ugly hunter armor that sucks? All hunter armor looks so bad, dude. Why they're doing this on purpose? It's got to be like an internal joke. Like, we're not putting any good-looking hunter armor out there.
Dude, most of the hunter armor in the game looks like fucking shit. Excuse my language. I don't know who in the fucking studio was like, oh, Crucible armor, let's do this weird like latex leather shit with studs on it. And then there's this other like patchwork set where you have like a skin graft over your face and like a little hole through it.
Yeah.
that's why I'm like so busy grinding the raid, because it's like it's a good looking hunter
Yeah,
set.
that's true.
I'm glad to have the set back to the Prison of Elders set. I've been using that one.
Well, the worst thing for me is that the Scatterhorn.
It's like poofy shoulders and poofy kneecaps and stuff. Like
Yeah, but it looks cool when it's made out of dragon bone.
No. The Iron Banner, the Iron Banner stuff.
Oh, the Iron Banner.
The Iron Banner stuff.
Oh
yeah.
no, the Iron Banner stuff is trash and should be removed from the game.
So we have not only that though. It's like even like I think Huffy, you were playing your hunter on day one when we were playing. You got the Scatterhorn cloak and you were like, oh, this cloak is cool, I think. But like that's got a bug with it. Not only does it look awful and it looks like the worst cloak in the game, but it actually obstructs your view if you try to use a bow.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Well, you know, like when I first the Iron Banner dropped and I was like looking at it, I'm like, hey, you know, I could probably turn my tokens in to get some like really good rolls on armor. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not even looking at any of this armor I get, because if it's a good roll, I'm dismantling it anyway. It looks so bad. I would never use this. Forget it.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
The only problem I have with the current iteration of Iron Banner is it doesn't have that, hey, you know, play Iron Banner with the full set of armor. Like even if it
I forgot about that.
Like there's nothing in there to play Iron Banner with the whole set.
Thank God, because I don't want to wear that.
Yeah.
Or play with an Iron Banner weapon. There's no.
Well, I don't think that was ever a thing, but yeah.
No, but I mean, like, you know, like you're getting stuff as you're progressing. You're bound to get a weapon.
Maybe EXO, they didn't want, because of the infusion requirements and light level mattering in Iron Banner, they didn't want to do that. You know,
maybe.
People would be wasting so many materials to accomplish that. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like a couple days ago, I had 350 Masterwork cores, and now I have just over 200. So.
You know, I've had 6 Masterwork cores since basically the thing dropped.
Yikes.
I gotta say, I'm looking at it now. Iron Banner said it's not bad when it's made out of dragon bone.
Well, yeah, that shader's nice, but I don't like the shapes or.
What shader is that, Huffy? What shader is the one that you're using?
It is called Dreaming Spectrum. I got it from dismantling a Masterwork.
I don't have that one.
Is
on my Chattering Bone. It's so good. I'm never dismantling it. It's got Dreaming Cast on it, but I gotta wait till I get to. It'll probably be next week where I can actually dismantle weapons where I'm not going to use like full fledged.
Yeah.
Or I might be on my Titan and might get like a 570 Apex that has something on it. And I'm like, bye. Take it easy. Because you also have the chest drops too.
So if you want to vomit in your mouth a little bit, Reese just said he started with 16,000 legendary shards and is down to 700.
Yep.
Wow.
From mass
Reese,
buying those Masterwork cores, man.
You're so sweaty. Yeah, so my first clear of the second encounter, we had been trying to do it with 6 hunters for maybe like 7 or 8 hours in total, and we got the mechanics down to a science. Like we were like performing everything so well, and like there was just nothing to be done. And then all of a sudden, EXO and Reese pop up in chat, and they're like, we're both available to help. And I was like, all right, Reese, get in here with this one spot. And like Reese came in and literally did like 6 million boss damage.
Oh my god, dude.
And it was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, I did the 100k Nightfall the first week of the raid, and I was asking Reese, I'm like, well, what modifier should I put on? Which strike should I pick? And he's like, oh, it'll be easy. Just do this, this, and this. And I was like, you want to hop in? And he's like, yeah, sure. So, like, I'm going through it, and I'm like, yeah, this does feel pretty easy, and we're, like, blazing through the score. This is no problem. Like, I'm glad that he gave me this tip, and now I can do it with other people. And then at the end, I looked at the post-game thing, and I'm like, dude, Reese, you killed, like, 250 things. Like, how the hell did you do that? That's ridiculous. But
it's a good encounter, though.
Yeah. So we're right at about an hour and a half. I think we've pretty much covered everything, being off for a week and stuff like that. Still working on guests. We got to get some more guests to come back on.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any suggestions, DM any of us, and we'll reach out to them.
Yo. Let's get Reese.
I said that at the beginning of the podcast.
So there's a wall of wishes. So there are 10 wishes that you need to fulfill.
Yeah.
And they're puzzles, right?
Yep.
5, 6, 7, 8 of them have been discovered. 8 out of 15.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And they just have, so this is really cool actually. So one of them just plays a song for you unlocking it.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's the song from The Lost Sector.
So if you have your music turned off, I bet you that people were like, it didn't do anything.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would have happened to me. But
so there's one that has a grunt birthday party effect within the raid.
Oh, that's cool. Like the old Halo skulls.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
these
awesome.
wishes are like skulls.
Easter eggs. Nice.
Right. I don't know where you put them into effect though.
Huh.
How do you even do them?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up later. But guys, this has been the 31st episode of GuardianCast. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Recked Expert. See you guys next week.
Peace.
Have a good one.